I'd like to welcome everybody to the Town of Webb April regular meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order and please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you everyone for coming. Please sign the attendance sheet and please turn off your cell phones. Excuse me. The next regular meeting will be on May 14th at 7 p.m. May audit of claims meeting will be held on the first Monday, May 6th at 5:30 p.m. A special meeting will be held on April 25th at 9 a.m. to open bids for tree clearing in Macaulay Mountain ski area. Executive session may occur this evening if deemed necessary. Tonight we have quite a bit of correspondence. Nancy and I'll share that. Nancy, if you could please read the first one.
We have a thank you from View. Thank you for the generous donation. It's very important to View and bringing programs to the community at a time of financial challenges. This is additional income, makes a big difference in our success. Best wishes, Steve Sayer, Board Chairman. The next one is from Adirondack Snowmobile Advocates. Dear Town of Webb Supervisor and Council Persons, on behalf of Adirondack Snowmobile Advocates, I would like to thank all Town of Webb officials, council persons, and personnel for their combined efforts to help make the 23-24 snowmobile season a success despite the lack of snowfall. Additionally, I would like to commend Supervisor Baker for lending her support of our efforts and reiterate to Patrick Duffy that Councilman Ross will be working with myself and others as she stated at a March 12th Town Board meeting. According to the latest published data on the New York State Snowmobile Association website, as of 2013, it was estimated that snowmobiling had approximately $600 million annual economic impact on the central New York, Adirondack Park, and Tug Hill regions when combined. Today, the same combined annual economic impact is estimated to be nearing the $1 billion mark for these same regions. Nonetheless, I'm pleased to see the Town of Webb government recognize just how essential snowmobiling is to the health of the local economy and the growth and potential the sport provides. Even more so, the town's commitment to working cooperatively with its snowmobile trail permit customers to strive for a safer, memorable, and more enjoyable experience for all. It is a solid step forward the entire community can be proud of. Please note that Councilman Ross and Lindsay's willingness to understand the issues and concerns of snowmobilers that myself, Mark Mayer, Devin Dacre, and Patrick Duffy have brought to their attention at our March 18th meeting was very much appreciated. While these discussions are still in their infancy, a productive dialogue is now underway and a line of communication has been established between ADK Snowmobile Advocates, town officials for the future benefit of snowmobiling in the Town of Webb. This is also including facilitating the introduction of Adirondack Cross Country Snowmobile Race Series directed to the Central Adirondack Association in hopes of securing the event for next season. As a result, our 2.5-hour meeting, we agreed to meet periodically and maintain regular communications during off-season. Additionally, we anticipate taking steps to establish a separate 501c3 nonprofit entity soon to ensure continued snowmobiling advocacy within the Town of Webb. It should be also noted that ADK Snowmobile Advocates had since made some recent updates to our Facebook page, given the rapid member growth that we had experienced in only 3.5 short months. That number now exceeds 2,100 plus page members, many who live outside the Town of Webb and wish to stay informed. Although we believe in the importance of free speech, we are willing upon all snowmobilers to be mindful of their comments, respect differing viewpoints, act responsibly when interacting on the social media pages of any snowmobile community, including those specific to the Town of Webb. Furthermore, ADK Snowmobiles now requires that all Facebook posts be approved by an administrator before they can appear on our page. This was done to protect our organizational efforts in the Town of Webb, the page's integrity, and the sport's reputation, as this platform exists solely to share relevant information, collect valuable feedback, and exchange ideas and nothing more. Likewise, we ask our administrators and moderators of similar pages to consider doing the same if they haven't done so already. ADK Snowmobile Advocates is wishing everyone a safe, enjoyable summer and hopes of a promising 24-25 winter season. Think sunshine for now. Sincerely, John Clill, founder of ADK Snowmobile Advocates.
Thank you, John. I have a correspondence from Patrick Buckness. He's a concerned citizen about the town of Webb's lack of consideration for snowmobile trail permit holders such as himself who live outside the area. For nearly a decade, I have been renting a home near Old Forge during the winter months and making a 12-hour round-trip drive that is never easy on anyone. It requires extensive planning and a need for timely and reliable information. During the week of March 18th, a winter storm that promised to bring 12 inches plus of snow had been forecasted for Old Forge for the upcoming weekend. Since the trails were closed, the town of Webb had given no prior indication that they were monitoring the pending snow storm and would be making efforts to reopen them, with safety being a top priority. Instead, the town of Webb chose to remain silent on the matter despite their 6 to 8 inches of variable snow that was already on the ground by Thursday morning. Therefore, on Thursday morning, March 21st, I decided to call the Old Forge Visitor Information Center to get a better understanding of what was going on. Although not her fault, the employee of the Visitor Information Center was very professional, but was undoubtedly kept in the dark by town of Webb officials. Not once was the employee able to give me any indication one way or another if the trails would be reopening. Instead, she told me to call the grooming barn. If the Visitor Information Center is unable to provide information to customers when the trails should have never been closed in the first place, then what is the point of this office? Instead, myself, fellow snowmobilers, and local business owners in the town of Webb were all left hanging again for at least second or possibly the third time this season. I also learned that many businesses were not able to make proper staffing arrangements or place food and beverage orders either. Only after I had shared an audio clip of my conversation with the Visitor Information Center on several social media pages did the announcement suddenly get made that the trails would be reopening. This was not done to disparage or hurt any employee's feelings, nor was it attempting to berate anyone, but rather it was done to back up the validity. Thank you.
I can't say it either.
Can't either. Of my call and nothing more. I'm truly sorry it was perceived as something other than that it was intended, which was to highlight the town of Webb's ongoing lack of communication, as well as inability to communicate with snowmobilers. Therefore, I take complete ownership of my actions, and they should not reflect of other snowmobilers, social media pages, or groups that are working within the town of Webb. None of them have anything to do with my decision to share the audio recording. This is a problem that the town of Webb officials need to learn from and value the feedback their customers provide them. In the future, the town of Webb should consider hiring qualified public relations people and work closely with them to prevent any further communication. Thank you, Patrick. You have one next, and it is...
To the town of Webb. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Beth Kellogg. I'm an avid snowmobiler and the owner of Little Fox in Big Moose, New York. I'm also a member of the ADK Snowmobile Advocate Group. I personally feel that the town of Webb has let a great opportunity to promote snowmobiling and the winter business go by the wayside. As a community, we need to address the decline in winter business for the area before it's too late. Here are a few key suggestions that I believe the town could change to help winter business and, in the end, keep my restaurant open. Groom overnight. In addition to the daytime grooming, it is ideal time to groom. The trails will have time to set up with the cooler temperatures, and it is safer as there are less riders. GPS for the groomers with an online app. Snowmobilers would like to know what trails have been groomed, as well as when they were groomed. This has also addressed the safety issue, so many snowmobilers will know where the groomers are located. Create a groomed trail between Trail 2 and 10. There will be less snowmobilers on the road, and riders will be able to use this trail into the month of March when the road is too warm and has no snow coverage. I know the town of Webb is willing to release the grooming of the Three Lakes Trail, and therefore the town of Webb could replace those miles with a new trail connecting 2 and 10. Shelving the roads. I feel that the town of Webb and Herkimer County could come to an understanding where we could have the sides of the road shelved so that riders would not be in the middle of the road, and it would be much safer to ride a road that is also used for vehicles. Not having the road shelved has caused some avid snowmobilers to move to other areas of the state. It is near impossible for seasonal rentals to reach the inner trail because the roads are plowed down to pavement and cannot be ridden. Produce a video that promotes the town of Webb and surrounding areas as the snowmobile capital of the East. We need to promote and encourage people to come to our area and ride. I am aware that there is currently a video being made to promote Old Forge and the surrounding areas that is geared towards the summer season. We need one that is primarily for the winter. Signage and safety should be more of a concern. I find when I ride in the other areas of New York State that the corners are better marked with signs. The intersections are marked extremely well within the town web trail system, but not the corners. Big Moose and Inlet should be more included in the promotions for Old Forge. I feel that surrounding areas are not included, and we are also a vital reason that snowmobilers come to this area. There's a lot more to offer than just Old Forge. Connector trails from Tug Hill area and Forestport should be groomed more often. The town web appears to be primarily concerned about only the inner trails and not the ones that connect to other towns. If we gave more attention to the outer trails, that would bring more riders to the area, and in turn more trail passes sold and revenue for the area. Restaurant signage. It would be beneficial to riders if we could have signage at key intersections. People riding here for the first time have mentioned it's difficult to know where to go for food and drinks. Remove the train tracks. The area would benefit not only in the winter, but also in the summer. If we were here to move the train tracks, as the train does not bring even 1/10, I'm being generous, of the revenue that snowmobilers bring to our area. Thank you for your time and consideration into the concerns that business owners and riders in the area currently have. Beth Kellogg, the Little Fox.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Well, seems like all the solutions are there.
We have a letter from Maintain the Chain. I'm writing on behalf of Maintain the Chain, an organization dedicated to preserving and enhancing the Fulton chain of lakes. Over the past 4 years, our organization has worked to engage and educate community members in ways they can help protect and encourage stewardship and the irreplaceable sources of this beautiful environment. We believe our commitment to the well-being and prosperity of our lakes strongly aligns with the town of Webb mission. As we continue to expand our initiatives and outreach, we recognize the importance of continued collaboration with leaders like yourself. We will be reaching out once again to seek support and partnership with the town of Webb to further strengthen our mission. Your continued advocacy endorsement shine a light on our organization and help us to advance our cause. Last year, we partnershipped with View with an Eco Arts Festival, which drew over 250 visitors and had over 60 teams sign up for environmentally focused, hands-on projects to be accomplished this past summer. You can find more detailed information about Maintain the Chain on our website, which details our history, upcoming events, and specific ways of support. We hope we can look for your continued support in 2024, and we look forward to working with you for the betterment of our community. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Kelvin Gonsalves. Thank you. All right, the town of Webb advertised for bids for sale of a 16 by 16 foot floating dock with floats, ladder, side bumpers. It was a minimum bid of $7,000. The town will not deliver. It's the bidder's responsibility. All bids are due to the town clerk on or before March 12th, 2024.
Today's date, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
April 9th.
April 9th at 7 p.m. in the town clerk's office, 3140 State Route 28, Old Forge, New York, 13420. Do we have any bids?
No, we do not.
So we don't have any bids, so I think the next thing we were thinking about was Auctions International. And then if that doesn't work out, to donate it to a nonprofit. Shall we try Auctions International next?
I think Andy, last time you were here, said that dock is
But it can be broken up and used.
Broken up
broken
to
up.
pieces.
In pieces, it's two pieces.
Two pieces together.
And if
So it will be
it's-
sold in two pieces then, right?
No, it would be sold
No, you
like
don't have
that.
to- That's up to
Auctions
who
and-
buys it.
Auctions International might not have the same zoning as we have,
Goes
you
up.
know, depending on where it got sold. Right?
Throw it on there.
Right?
Yep. Correct.
Or is that a
Generally,
state?
it's anywhere in the Adirondack Park, the
Okay.
8-foot width.
Auctions International.
And if that was broken, I think in half, if I'm not mistaken, whatever the way that was put together, and it was made into like a U, is that still against the?
It could be T-shaped, F-shaped, one long dot. Just can't have any component wider than 8 feet.
Because I did talk to somebody that might have an interest in it, but.
So,
Are we looking for a motion to go to auctions?
yes, I am.
You could advertise it as 8 by 32.
Right.
It'll be the third time.
Well, we're
I'll
not,
make a motion to send over to Auctions International, and it can be broken up.
All right,
I'll second.
roll call vote, please.
Councilman Lindsay?
Aye.
Councilman Hannah? Councilman Greco?
Aye.
Councilman Ross?
aye.
Supervisor Baker?
Aye. The town of Webb advertised for bids for a new 2023-24 4x4 single cab automatic 6-speed, 6.6 V8, 3.73 rear axle ratio type vehicle. All bids should allow for a 2016 Chevy 2500 trade-in with approximately 49,200 miles. All bids were due at the town clerk on or before April 9th, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the town clerk's office, 3140 State Route 28, Old Fort, New York, 13420. This bid is for a vehicle for the wastewater treatment plant. Bid specs are on file with the town clerk. The town of Webb reserves the right to reject any and all proposals. Do we have any bids?
We actually don't. I've never not gotten bids before.
All right.
I sent out six bid packets all over. Didn't hear from anybody.
So do I have a motion to go out to rebid?
I'll make a motion, we go out to rebid.
Second?
I'll second.
Is it Tommy?
Ben.
Ben? Sorry.
Ben, sorry.
Sorry,
that's
I
all
can't,
seconded.
I can't tell you guys apart.
Any board discussion?
No, it's kind of weird.
Intriguing to see that we didn't get any bids back for that.
Yeah.
What?
It's intriguing to see that we
Yeah.
didn't get any bids back.
I've never had that happen before.
Can you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Lindsay?
Aye.
Councilman Hannah?
Aye.
Councilman Greco?
Aye.
Councilman Ross?
Aye.
Supervisor Baker?
Aye. RFP for ski conveyor at Macaulay Mountain. The town of Webb advertised for bids for a ski conveyor at Macaulay Mountain. Bids are on file with the town clerk. All RFPs should be at the town clerk on or before April 9th at 7 p.m. Delivery is expected by August 31st, 2024. Do we have any bids?
We have one.
Thank you to Herkimer County for the ability to make this happen.
It's a big one, evidently. It is from Starlift's USA proposal.
It's for that magic carpet.
For the magic carpet. It's called Starlifts in the real world, I guess. We have a bid. Include, let me see here. So the bid's $117,000, and the add-on for the cover, the whole total comes to $212,400. That is an add-on. Enclosure over midsection.
What was the total on that, Nancy?
212,400, 212,400.
Without the thing, it was what? Without the cover?
117, it appears the cover is 95,400.
What about installation and all that?
It includes installation, conveyor, engineering and technical services included, installation advisor included, and I also believe this Jason Bornes that is doing the other stuff at the mountain is also helping with this. And then the 95.4 does include engineering and technical services along with installation, along with that Jason Bornes.
Electric, all that stuff. So our total cost is looking at 212 because the money that was given from Herkimer County was 250, right?
Correct.
That's a look, and there's other options, but we didn't take any of those, that wasn't in the bid. The only thing in the bid was the actual installation and if it was possible about a cover.
What you need to have a cover.
Sure.
That's all that money can be spent on too. On that.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah. So what else can we get for 38K in there? I mean, it's kind of serious.
They talked about a cover at the bottom,
I mean, if we,
a shed at the bottom.
yeah.
We were gonna reuse
Yeah.
something.
The options is the page before. I think the options are right there. Those are options right there.
Use it to build a building at the bottom, or can we use it for getting power there?
I'm not sure, we'd have to ask Herkimer County if it's just for this piece of equipment, or if we have access to use that other little bit of money to put it towards something else on that.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the 212 includes all the electric installation, anything that goes along with making it function with the cover and all of that. I hope, because that could be, is that in there anywhere?
Well, it's a lot here to
First,
to read. I think.
first 2 pages.
I'm saying anything about that. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, we should probably figure that out. How much more electric?
All right, here.
Does anybody have that? By any chance, or know anybody? You guys are up there, right?
If they're installing it, they must have to be able to plug it in, so.
I hope.
I hope. Yeah, the contractor guy that is Jason Bonus. He's part of this.
Okay.
Right.
Where's Kurt Gardner? It says right there, dear Mr. Kurt Gardner.
He's got to see what his might have it.
Well, theirs is a low voltage control system, so
And
it
we
might
do
not
have
need
power
that much
there,
power.
obviously,
Yeah.
because the rope goes there.
And then it includes all the splice rods.
You can do it.
You guys wanna table it so you get a chance to look at the specs, or?
Well, with this bid coming in, then this is something that needs to be ordered, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, we just need to figure out what the rest of what we can do with the rest of the money that we're getting from Herkimer County.
You don't have to spend it.
Well, unless they're saying they're paying for this, whatever the price came out, they went up to that number.
Yeah.
The attached offer includes electrical drive hardware designed for 40 volt 3-phase supply power. Definitely need some power.
So I guess the question is if we need to have more money than what that costs to get the electric to it, are they willing to pay for it? Right?
They sent us $250.
Well, then we got them,
Money was sent.
we're good.
Oh, from the cent.
I think we already got it, yeah.
I'll make sure that, but I think we need to accept this.
We could, yeah, we need to accept it.
I think we need to accept
And
it. I
then
don't,
if something pops up here,
and then,
right?
I'll make a motion that we accept the bid.
okay.
I'll make a
We
second.
Kyle.
It was
All
me.
right.
Nancy, sorry.
Sorry, that's right. I just can't tell you guys apart yet.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Lindsay,
Aye.
Councilman Hannah,
Aye.
Councilman Greco,
Aye.
Councilman Ross,
All right.
Supervisor Baker.
Aye.
Five ayes.
We have an agreement.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
We have an agreement for disassembly and transport service. I need a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement with Robert J. Blennis, doing business as RJ Blennis Excavating and Concrete. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Kyle,
Nancy,
second.
that was me.
I'll second it.
Ben, board discussion.
This is for all the,
This is to move the chair, this is so I can sign the contract to move the chairlift.
Yeah.
Yep.
some easy item.
They were starting to take that down
Monday.
this month, is it?
Yep.
We know, is it down or?
I don't know.
I don't know,
What, that gore?
Ben?
It's supposed to be,
Well,
started
originally
at last
supposed to
week,
be-
so-
Yeah, last
I
week.
don't know how long that takes.
But the helicopter wasn't gonna be there till I believe May.
Oh,
First part. So they're just getting it ready for,
right, okay. Taking everything
and I
apart.
believe they're taking the base down with a crane.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they're taking the base down with a crane.
All right.
Cool.
Can we have a roll call vote,
Did you get
please?
your?
Councilman Lindsay,
Aye.
Councilman Hannah,
Aye.
Councilman Greco,
aye.
Councilman Ross,
All right.
Supervisor Baker.
Aye.
Five ayes.
The fencing for the community garden, we received two quotes for the fencing for the garden. I asked for 3 and I only got 2. Gateway fence was $13,500. BD Fence Solutions is $14,500. The only difference was Gateway was the one that did the dog park. They would use Schedule 40 piping. The other company would use Schedule 20 piping. Schedule 20 piping is cheaper, yet the Schedule 40 piping quote was cheaper than the 20. So I'd like to move forward on the cheaper quote.
So Gateway's already over there, right? They did the.
Gateway's already over there and it was
Happy
a,
with it?
yeah, very happy.
Sounds good.
Did we budget, what did we budget?
We
for
put
that?
money in for it.
I'll make a motion to accept the gateway fence system,
Okay.
bid, or quote.
For $13,500.
Yep.
Kyle, Tom, I'll second it.
Thank you. Board discussion?
Dog park's great.
Yep. If the community garden doesn't work out, we got a small dog park.
All the rest of the community.
Try to look
garden-
ahead.
All the rest of the community garden stuff is being built or?
Yes,
what's going on with
yes.
that?
We're gonna provide the fencing and then we have everybody's gonna come together and put that together. Perfect. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Lindsay,
Aye.
Councilman Hannah,
Aye.
Councilman Greco,
Aye.
Councilman Ross,
All right.
Supervisor Baker.
Aye.
Five ayes.
MJ Engineering and Land Surveying PC motion that the Town of Webb Town Board wish to enter into a contract with MJ Engineering and Land Surveying PC for Storm Water Pollution Prevention Plan, SWIP, covering the proposed construction phase site disturbances at Macaulay Mountain. The SWIP will include a plan, weekly inspections, APA jurisdictional inquiry forms, and the estimated fee is $10,000. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay.
This is something we have to
Board
do this.
discussion?
We have to do this in order to get the site ready for this lift.
Correct.
It's a must do.
Because when you start to move the mountain, you have drainage problems.
Right.
Anything else, guys? Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Lindsay?
Aye.
Councilman Hannah?
Aye.
Councilman Greco?
Aye.
Supervisor Baker?
Aye.
Five ayes.
Okay.
Aye.
Oh,
Did I miss you?
that might.
I'm sorry.
The
I'm deep in my thought of the next thing we're going on.
Old Forge Volunteer Ambulance has asked through their lawyers to our town lawyer for the entire $850,000 to be paid by the town to the ambulance up front in February, and that all collections up to $300,000 be created to the town with an excess rolled over into the next year's contract price. That would shift the risk of the billing coming up short to the town and require the town to front an additional $300,000 before it was earned or collected. The ambulance at this point has not received any money because the contract is not signed. Let me put that in layman's terms.
Please do.
So we set up a tax roll for the ambulance, and that tax roll came in at $550,000.
Right.
They're asking us to put an additional $300,000 on that and give them $850,000 total. So that anything of their collections, if they're credited up to $300,000, if they go over the $300,000 and it's $316,000 that they've collected, we get $16,000 back to give back to the taxpayers. That's not how we set up the agreement. The agreement was set up that they were going to collect the money. That $300,000 is their resource recovery that they would collect. They're asking us to cover it. We did not put that in our budget.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
And our budget was
the taxpayers are paying the $550,000.
They're already paying the $550,000.
Yeah.
That's almost 200 and some thousand more than they got when they were on our line. Now we've created a tax line for them so they could have more money, and now they want another $300,000.
Doesn't even sound right.
So what is the pleasure of the board?
Oh my gosh, really? I
want my
personally would like
opinion?
to understand this a little bit better because I don't know where you just pull $300,000 out of it.
We don't have that. We didn't budget for it. We absolutely did not budget for it. This was a contract that we started in November.
No, we actually started in August.
In
October.
August.
You guys met with them, agreed on the
Agreed on.
$550,000 and that
Yeah.
you would up their resource recovery to $300,000. Everybody agreed on it in a meeting.
And now they want more money.
This is the amount they originally.
They want.
Right, this is the original amount that they wanted,
This is the original amount.
that we said no, that they had to earn some of their money.
This, yeah.
I just said there's not $300,000. I think they should go after their own resource recovery money.
And they're basically saying they're gonna get it, right? They're planning on getting the resource, the recovery money, but they want us to front it. Am I getting this?
Yeah, that's the
Pretty
gist. Yeah, pretty much. That's the gist.
So why don't you just get your recovery money and move on?
I think the contract needs the way the lawyer set it up 3 months ago.
I
and
don't
what
wanna be
we
against the
agreed
ambulance, but something is
with 3 months
weird
ago.
here.
You know, I mean, we've spent a lot of money on the lawyer with this, and we're in March now.
Is there a actual request of this somewhere? Like, do we have a letter or something from them? I didn't.
It went to the
I didn't see
lawyer.
it.
It's in the lawyer's hands.
They sent it right to the lawyer.
So this is our lawyer's words for us to figure out what we're gonna do.
Well, I'm not prepared to
You can table it.
vote on this, to be honest with you. I'd like to know a little more information.
That's kind of where I was going with that.
There really isn't any more information.
There's no, I don't know where the more information is gonna come from. They want $300,000 from us, we don't have it. I don't know where we're gonna pull it from. I mean, where would you pull $300,000 from that's not in the budget this year? Tell me. I'm the budget director, it's not there. I gotta tell you, it's not there. So the answer to me is no. A firm no. How do you pull money where you don't have it? I don't understand that. I mean, and I'm not trying to down the ambulance at all, because when I want them, I want them. I'm not, believe me, they provide us a huge service. But this agreement was
That's what I was getting, like,
put in place.
you know, maybe a discussion with them, I guess, is kind of where I was going towards that.
We can do it again.
Saying no or.
Go back into negotiations with them again.
I mean, just to get more clarification of where this is coming from, I guess is what I was
But it-
suggesting.
So I understand having a conversation. So I guess my question is, 'cause I wasn't on the board then, I know a little bit about it just by being in the audience. The contract was based on the new tax line for them that was created, 550,000. And anything over 300,000 that they made would go back to the taxpayers.
Correct. Their so they get the 550, they get their 300,000 resource recovery. And then if it goes over that, it comes back and goes back to the taxpayers.
Gotcha. And now they want a total of 850 up front.
Correct.
When this has already been okayed.
All established, okay, agreed on.
And we already created the tax line.
Right.
We already received that money.
Correct.
But now they want to up it in the 11th hour without even signing a contract yet with us to accept the 550
Correct.
that we already have.
Contract negotiation.
I personally.
Which we've already been through, and I'm not willing to spend any more attorney money on it. We've spent about $10,000 on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I too want the ambulance to show up when I call them, but in this late in the game for this to be happening, it's gonna fall more on the taxpayers, and who's to say they don't recoup the 300,000, if not more, to pay back the taxpayers.
Which I also have a question on. They're saying they're gonna give, if they recover more than 300, but if we don't, and that's only if we front them the 300? Because isn't it, if they get recovery money, isn't it their money?
It's their money till 300.
Till
Anything over
300,000.
300 we get back.
And it comes
If
back
we front
to,
them the money, but wonder if we don't front them the money?
it's
and
not
they
fronting
recover
them the
more.
money, it's giving them the money.
It's part of the contract right now. They have resource recovery money that they take in.
Right.
Last year they took in, we got 16,900 back because they earned over what was in the contract, so they paid us back.
It was lower.
So this year they have $300,000 they can earn up to, and they keep every dime. If they earn $302,000, we get the $2,000 to pay back the taxpayer.
And when we went into negotiations with this, we upped it from 250
Yeah.
to 300.
But if they're
So
short-
they kept more money.
If they're short 300 and they only earn 225, we don't get anything. They don't give us money back because they didn't earn it. And then that's where they're gonna be short.
You already made that tax line, we had significant, it was a significant amount.
Significant
And
increase.
we all want the ambulance, whether it's for I or me or who, whatever, we all know we need the
Right.
ambulance, and are very thankful for all the ambulance services around here. But I just thought that was the number that's the number we set. Was it ever agreed on by that? Was that maybe where this is coming from? Like when we set this in the budget line, like they were.
You guys had a meeting? You had a
This was all
meeting?
done all through law.
Yeah.
We did it all through the law.
You had a
That's
meeting
why I
with
don't
them,
understand where.
with Gary and
We
everybody.
had a meeting with Gary.
I
We
remember.
had,
I didn't know if they're playing.
They gave us.
so it's a pleasure, guys.
Thought we did a good job of compromising when we talked to them last. With that 550.
It's either a motion to accept or not accept, right?
Or table it, right?
Or table it and go another round with them. And
Again,
but this, so if we table it, honestly, in my thought, just quick thinking, we table it, we're working on something that was already
Already done,
planned for,
established,
done for, and established.
finalized. All I need to
At
do
the
is
last-
sign the
the last
paper.
board.
We're the last four.
So we can't, we're not.
I can't.
So I'll make a motion to not accept that.
We have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Lindsay, Councilman Hannah,
Aye.
Councilman Greco,
How do I,
yea or nay?
Yea or nay?
I wanna find out
Yea or
where this
nay?
came from, you know?
Name from
It's a yea or nay now.
More money. But they just can recover it, that's all we're gonna do.
Yeah, I'll stick to what we put out there, yeah. Yay.
You're gonna go with everybody? Okay.
Yeah.
Councilman Ross,
Hey,
Supervisor Baker,
Yeah,
others.
all right,
boy.
okay.
I guess they can ask it.
This next subject, everything is in the hands of our lawyer, except for this one thing we will be discussing. We received a letter from Wadi Khalil, the attorney from Inlet, stating that we owed $37,208.20 for last year. We have in previous discussion agreed that we are not going to pay this additional $37,208.20. Are you guys still on board with that?
Yeah.
All right,
No, on,
you know,
no, and I'm just one vote.
okay. So I need a motion.
I was never on board to terminate the contract or whatever that was. Remember, I was kind of left
This
out
is,
of the
this is,
discussion.
all we're talking about is the $37,000 that they think that we owe them. And I gave you that chart that we overpaid them. $500,000 since 2016. So that's where we're coming from with this.
You're talking about,
So I want to know,
I'm just one vote.
I need a motion to not pay additional $37,208.20 to Inlet.
Yeah, I mean, I got this, but we never actually discussed it. To pay or not to pay, so that's what this is basically essentially, right? You know, I've been to all the meetings, I've missed the meeting.
Well, this is where we're at. They want an additional $37,208.20. Do I have a motion to not pay Inlet that amount of money?
I'll make the motion.
Ben, second.
I'll second.
Or discussion?
I feel that this discussion gets deeper with the rest of what's happening here. And I don't know if this is cart before the horse or what this is doing, but I'm not sure about this situation. I'm kind of on a
Something that definitely needs
I
to be
want to be a
discussed a little
partnership with,
more.
I don't want to lose a partnership with
Yeah,
Inlet or anything
exactly.
like that, but there's been a lot of discussion on this topic and doing this, I'm not sure what this was.
They got their
I
$50,000
know what they
that,
got.
so
Can I ask, when was the last time there was an actual updated agreement contract with Inlet?
Okay.
For this?
1989.
So we've been,
And
We've been doing it on a handshake.
not even that.
Not even.
it's
We've been
been,
doing it on a nod or whatever.
so we have,
Discussing it now, right?
we have.
We are
been-
just, the only thing we're supposed to be discussing right now is whether we're gonna pay them this 38.
Gotcha.
So that's what we need to stick on.
So, for, you know,
Right.
the 50 grand was just the number that was like, hey, this contract, which it doesn't, you know, the intermunicipal agreement, 5 years or more or whatever, it does not hold up, and it hasn't been renewed since 1989. So like, it's not really an active, I did some research on it, it's not an active agreement by any means. So that's not really to be discussed on like what will go back and forth. The whole thing that I was trying to get us to get to a point was to, what can we discuss? How can we negotiate updating this? And I know you sent some emails to them. I have them all in front of us. We've seen those. But it was never really discussed to kind of counter with what our desires are, because the 14% is a number that I guess some of us board members weren't happy with last year. And
It's been spoken about for many, many years.
A lot of years.
And I'm just in favor, instead of just tossing that out, I think we should counter with another number, like, hey, how about 8, 9, 10%? I don't know. I just think that should be discussed.
And that will be discussed when
Versus-
Inlet wants to come around again with their discussion. Right now, are we going to pay them $37,000?
And if you figure out the number that they took in on ticket sales plus the $50,000, it comes to miles I was told that they groom comes to $9,000 a mile, which is a pretty.
You can't look at where they're sold.
No.
Everything's done online. This is the first place you hit when you go.
But no,
through.
just the
That's
number that
the problem
we,
is that's part of that contract.
you know.
Well, we made it when we were on the board. What, a couple of years ago? We said we're going to give you 50 grand. That's it. They said they want their 14%. There was an agreement, which I was not for, to give them 50 grand. Here you go, and boom, we're done with it. We want to go on a flat rate, and I was like, well, flat rate doesn't really make sense, because what if they go down? We're still going to give them 50 grand, whatever the case may be. That's where this 37 is coming from, because they thought they should have gotten more than that based off of the agreement that didn't really exist.
They did 5% of the sales that year, and it ended up being 50%. Correct, Mike? Or 50,000, correct?
Yes.
So 5% of the sales is $50,000. That's what they earned.
Well, and plus what they sold, so you gotta add those numbers together.
They sold 67,000.
And they kept that,
They kept that.
and we gave them
Plus
50,000.
Yes, it's 117. Their 14% of the actual revenue should have been the 154.
That's a problem.
They want the 137 because that's the difference. That's what they want, the difference.
So they want 37. 37 is the difference.
Yeah.
What they sold was 60-something thousand plus 50, whatever that number is 117. So.
The amount they should have been paid to go off of this age-old agreement is $154,333.20. So they took in $67,125, and then instead of paying them what we should have based off that 14%, we paid them $50, which left us $37,208.20 short. So I don't know what,
It's not short because they were notified a year before that agreement was not valid and that we needed to work on it.
What's wrong with making it off?
Excuse me, that we're having discussion here. Thank
I
you.
understand, but
Thank you.
somebody's
We're
gotta
having discussion.
reject
Thank you, Duffy.
Yeah. I guess I would just like to see this not just go away. You know?
I don't think it's necessary.
going away.
It's not going away. It's just the fact that we have been doing a good deed gesture since when did you say?
1988.
1988, 89. I know when Supervisor Baker came in, she had tried to talk to John about updating the agreement. Nothing's been done, and I don't feel it's right on our behalf to just continue to bend to, okay, here's another 14%, here's another 14%. When does it stop? Did we not pay for the computer system that they have
Yes.
up there?
They offer to help and run that whole thing, but again, 14% is, you're saying we've done a good deed for however long, and that's also your opinion too.
That is my opinion.
Because some people, 14%, like to me, I think 14%.
My
When it comes to the
biggest
gateway from here to there and then past there is probably worth it, and for what they're doing. To me, that number seems close to fair or reasonable. You know.
So I understand it. My biggest gripe is though, I said it before, we should work with Inlet. I've said it at the Meet the Candidates night, I'll continue to say it. I don't feel it's right though, when they initially sent that to us, there was no conversation from Inlet about it. It was sent by a lawyer to us. for demand of payment of the money that they were missing. I would like to work with Inlet to get an updated contract, agreement, whatever you want to call it, in place to continue a partnership with them. But I feel at this point in time, what we gave them is what they get.
And that's just what, I mean, how like high horse is that though? Like, hey, this is what we're giving you guys, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's it.
What do you mean by
instead
high
of-
horse?
It's not high horse. There's been nothing set in stone since 88, 89. That's the last time the contract, agreement, whatever you want to call it,
Seems a
was
above
updated.
them kind of thing instead of working together. So like, you know, there hasn't been an updated contract, there hasn't been an updated
Well,
plan.
but it was
So you could-
proposed many times to deal with this, and they kept not dealing with it. And I've made a zillion calls, I can tell you, and John probably never called me back, ever.
It's been going on for a while, so it wouldn't be
And
both,
it's just,
both
it's wrong on their
both
side
sides.
to
I mean,
not deal with it.
before Bonnie, before us, I mean, whoever, I mean, it was negligence on everyone's behalf not to update this whole thing over time. But right now to fire back and say, hey, you know, we do want to fix this, we do want to come up with a better percentage that might be, make a little more sense for us, would you guys, and then just start it off by, we're not going to give you what has been previously agreed on in the past. I just think it's going to be a tough negotiational tactic to do that without them just being like, oh, we're not doing anything. Because I think that really will affect us. I really do. I just want that to be very clear. If we do not have the town of Inlet alongside us and with the trail system, with the town of Webb, I think we're really going to be setting ourselves up for some really unhappy customers. And snowmobiling, you know, it's already going through enough. Just where I stand on that. So we can take the vote on 37.
Okay, anybody else?
I don't know
We haven't
what
talked
to
about
do.
that much. That's why I'm sorry.
know, that's-
sorry to
it's
talk
kind of
about
a-
it so much.
Kind of a curveball there on that one, because I thought we were gonna have a meeting on this and deal with it.
We are right now.
But this is on the 37 though, right? What you're talking about, Bonnie?
We're dealing with the 37208
Yeah. So that, you guys are.
from last year.
So I think it's just down to the roll call then on
Well, I
whether or
mean-
not to pay that.
Ben could always make a motion to take his first motion back, and we can table it.
And 37,000 would be a good start for GPSs on the groomers.
Can we have a roll call vote, please?
We're going with not to pay Inlet. Is that the motion?
The motion is to not
Okay,
pay
not to
Inlet
pay Inlet,
37,208.
$37,208.20. We have Ben and Kyle. Okay. Councilman Lindsay.
Aye.
Councilman Hannah.
Aye.
Councilman Greco.
Nay.
Councilman Ross.
Aye.
Supervisor Baker.
Aye.
4 ayes, 1 nay.
All right. I'm going to go to topics. Nancy's going to start because she has a lot of stuff to go through. When you get a minute.
We have a rabies clinic coming up. It is at the Old Forge Library this year, May 16th. It's on a Thursday, 5 to 6:30. Same thing, dogs have to, same as every year, the difference is location. They're asking for $5 donation. Bring proof of any vaccination history you have. You can pre-register, but it's not necessary, but that's going on. New garbage law. People should receive roughly this week, if they haven't already, the new transfer station clings. Should have gotten 2 of them in your letters. Takes effect May 1st. The clings should be on your car windshield, or if not, you can put them on a placard to hang them if you are a renter. If you're an apartment dweller, you will get them from your landlord. If you're the landlord, come in, tell me you have 4 apartments, whatever you have, we'll make sure you get clings for everybody there. If you're a visitor and don't have a cling, or if you're a renter and don't have a cling because your landlord isn't giving you his cling, their transfer station stickers are available for $2 a piece. You do have to have them before you go to the transfer station. Like I said, May 1st, learning curve for everybody. Just everyone, let's be patient and work together and all be kind. We're doing our best. Speaking of the transfer station, April 29th will be our new summertime hours will be closed on Wednesdays. April 29th, October 7th. closed on Wednesdays. Saturdays are 8 to noon, 1 to 4. Sundays are 8 to noon, 1 to 4. Every other day is 8 to noon. We have junk days coming up. The first 3 Saturdays in June from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Junk days, white metal days, whatever you want to call them. Anything appliances with CVCs, you do have to come in, CFC, sorry. You do have to come in and see myself or the information center and get a ticket to go up there for $10, and you do have to pay for tires. Other than that, everything's free, no construction debris of any kind, and no metal objects over 10 feet long. Summer garbage schedule doesn't take effect until June 17th. All the changes are not for that yet. June 17th, we'll change that. FYI, we have a new liquor license for Meatballs Media Incorporated, DBA Crosby Cafe. And we have another one for Calypso Cove, IAM Calypso Cove LLC at 3188 State Route 28. They missed it. We did it last time, but they missed it. So it was just a reminder. Now, I do need a resolution to do a raffle license for the Old Forge Fire Department for raffle license for 2024.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor? Opposed?
And I need a resolution or a motion to do a bingo license for the Old Forge Fire Department for 2024.
So move.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
And
Thank you.
that's all I have. Thank you.
No.
Phew. Bingo, it's bingo season.
All right, I have a couple things. The Eclipse, thank you to all the state and local agencies involved in the planning to make sure everyone was safe and things ran smoothly. Thank you to all the town web staff that went above and beyond their normal duties. CAA did an amazing job at their event at the George T. Hildebrandt building. They had a great attendance there. And lastly, I want to thank everybody that came here to experience it. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life. Everyone was totally respectful, very exciting. So I hope everybody enjoyed it as much as I did. Macaulay Mountain Office Manager Chris Johnson gave you guys a report of the 7 races that either the school or the Polar Bears pulled in, and they raised an extra $16,460 in ski pass revenue.
That's awesome.
She'd like to see a stronger relationship with the ski racing industry. She feels that it was a boost to the economy in a year when there was very little snow. So thank you to the Macaulay Mountain staff for all they did this winter. We applied for a DEC Smart Growth Grant for Macaulay Mountain upgrades on snowmaking. We didn't meet the 80-point threshold in order to secure the $300,000 loan or grant. We were offered, however, $125,000 from them for this project. Thank you to the New York State PEC for the start of that project. We're still short money, but we'll apply for some more grants. On May 6th through the 10th, Patrolman Chris Green and Cody Luber will be attending bicycle patrol course in Saranac Lake. Macaulay Mountain deck bids came in extremely high, so we went back to the drawing board with the engineer, who should be getting back to us very soon, with some new plan to make it a little cheaper for us and a little more feasible for us. With that being said, we've notified the rentals of Macaulay Mountain that the deck will not be available for the upcoming summer events. Casey needs a full-time year-round employee in the highway department. He gave Nancy an ad for the paper. He has money in his budget for it. I just need a nod from you guys, saying that's okay. He also would like a nod from the board to order the 2025 Freightliner. The earliest will be available is 2025. And he needs it, so he needs to get it on order, so we need a nod for that.
Yeah, this
This
was,
was also budgeted for too.
Yes.
and this was the one I believe I brought up after Ben and I went to Albany, that if you bought it prefabricated already, we
Yes.
can get it as soon as possible and pay for it the following year. Whereas the new trucks are 3 to 5 years out and no guarantee on the price. That's cool.
We had a progress meeting for the wastewater treatment plant on Friday. The UV system is up and running. I'm sure that you all heard this in one of the meetings, but I did not. So I learned something new. It's a seasonal system. The UV bulbs are removed during the frigid months so they don't freeze. The project's moving along with a few problems arising, but they're working on it right now. But I just wanted to mention that that's a seasonal $3.8 million mandate. Seasonal. I just wanted to mention that. Hannah would like to purchase 6 benches for the George T. Hildebrandt building. It would be used for seating during karate and stuff. She's gotten 3 quotes, and I'd like to use the less expensive quote of $4,000. We need that. I need a nod from the board for this. There were benches in there, but they were the Quanas,
Yeah.
and so now
Oh, those are going away.
those are going away. And Kyle, I don't know if I
They're all in the box.
the quotes were in there.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
That's for
So
the,
that won't come out of her budget though.
No, that'll come out of buildings. We'll do it out of buildings just to get, and she, it's like a trial to see if these benches are gonna work for her.
and that would be the Laguna Beach on the second page, Laguna bench on the second page that you're looking for, the
Yeah,
4,000.
40, 70.
6-foot cedar one.
How heavy are they? Those Kiwanis ones are easy to move around. We're just losing those. They're going back to Kiwanis or
They
something.
go back out on the
They're
street.
All on the street.
On the streets, on the curbs.
Curb.
Not for pickup or anything.
How many benches is this for?
What?
How many benches?
6 benches.
$4,000? The buy the plastic ends for $250 to get some 2x4s. That's all the Kiwanis have.
Right. What, she just, how did she do
That's
this?
from Kiwanis fell
You got
apart.
3 quotes.
Picked them up. Sad.
Just by,
And the quality are written or anything like that in the movie, so we were trying to get something that wasn't as,
She's trying to get 6 or 4.
6.
it says
Quantity.
$1,000.
6, yeah.
No, this one. $6.15 a piece, right?
Yeah.
$6.15.
Now, you guys do what you want, but it just seems awful obsessive.
Possible to order, is it you order 1? You know? Instead of getting 6 off of that. Maybe they're too heavy,
Well, maybe it's something we don't do right now and find out what they are.
Sounds good.
I didn't look at them, did
We'll
anybody,
take that off the
anybody see
table
them?
right now.
Know what they are they heavy, are they light, do they need to be painted, what are these things?
Well, it says cedar, which cedar's pretty light.
Comes with a couple of radios though. For free.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand those benches aren't in there anymore, there's nowhere to sit in there now, I totally get it. It's also,
I mean, we need them, we need benches, but, I mean, the question is are they too expensive, we should look into it.
And if you guys want to stop down at the motel, I have the plastic ends that I bought for like $250. I bought pressure treated 2x4s and put them in it, and it's been outside for 10 years.
that's what the Kiwanis ones are.
Yeah.
What's that?
Except mine don't, the ones I bought don't wiggle. I use that sledgehammer to get the 2x4s in them.
We can wait, yes, just
Yeah.
research it more, whatever you wanna
Do
do.
some more research, that's all,
But,
pretty simple.
Mike, you're up. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, boy. I guess first of all, I want to make mention that I do appreciate everybody's concerns about the snowmobile industry and all that, and all these letters and everything. I've been doing this a lot of years, and many people have come with all these things. And Beth, I respect the heck out of all the things that you have to say. Shelving the roads, I don't want to go in too much, but there's a lot of answers out there. And just because we had a bad winter, or whatever the problem is this year, or the advocate group, whatever started this, it gets to a point where you start a fight back and forth. And I don't want that to happen. I've said that to John many times. Start getting all these people arguing, this Pat guy that comes in and yells and screams in this and videos it for crying out loud. That was ridiculous. I just assumed that guy didn't snowmobile here, to be honest with you. He doesn't need to do that here.
Yeah, it's
So
terrible.
starting that and sending us a
That's
letter
bad.
is wrong,
It's terrible.
in my
It
opinion.
made everybody look bad.
It's terrible.
And then we start with these kind of things, which definitely gets me on edge. I've been a part of this snowmobiling for a lot of years, and trying exactly what you guys are doing, and trying to make it better and better and better. But damn it, you can't fix everything. And I can also say that one of the comments that I've had from snowmobilers, they come up here on a Tuesday and they can't even get something to eat because there's nothing open. Is that our problem?
We're open on 2 hours.
Yeah.
So that's been said. I mean, you could come back and forth on this, and that's what I'm trying to make a point of. Is that's what I don't want, and it's happening. And John, you and I have had this discussion. It's going to get worse.
Can I just, dovetail on that, because I'm glad you brought that up about the advocacy group. The advocacy group was never intended from day one to be adversarial with the town. It was to work with town, and based on the.
But that's what everybody's using. They're
Okay,
part of
I
this
don't-
damn group now,
but
and
I
that's what's
can't-
happening.
Listen, I can't speak for everyone. I can go on facts. Now, what Beth shared was information that my understanding is she provided it to the board, because I am not authorized to accept grievances and things like that on behalf of the town at this point. So she followed the proper channels. My thought was, with the information Beth provided the town, that would be the kind of stuff we use in our discussions with you. And yes, you and I have had, Mike, Kyle, we've had conversations, which I feel it's cordial, it's working, and that's the direction I hope that it's going to continue to go forth in. So unless you grant me some kind of powers to be the recipient of all these kind of things, whether they're grievances, apology letters, or whatever the case may be, again, I don't have that authority. So that was why Beth followed the channels. But yes,
Right,
going
that's-
forward, I'd like to
that's
believe
how
that
she
the
got it.
advocacy group can be a conduit, as was explained earlier, so that we don't have to waste time in meetings. I don't have to send 2-page letters reiterating things, and we can just make some progress going into next season so that we can start out on a good note. You mentioned the shelving and the paving and all these things, or the plowing. These things have been around for a long time. This is what actually gave way to the need for the advocacy group to establish some kind of layer, if you will, to work with government to be able to address these kind of issues. That's all. Again, non-adversarial. So that was the intention for day one. But if people are saying things in the community, there's gossip, there's hearsay, I can't operate with that stuff. Okay, we have communication. I want to continue to maintain that communication and stay focused on the things that we're focusing on, not going off on a tangent. If somebody in the community decides to say, well, I'm part of the advocacy Facebook group, yeah, let them all say it. But at the end of the day, we know what we're doing, the group that Mike, you and Kyle chose to work with, and I hope we can continue to do that. And if things go forward, since we're having this discussion, people from Inlet have already reached down. They feel that if there is going to be a continuation of a trail permit between Inlet and the town of Webb, they want to be included in those discussions as well. And rightfully so, they should be going forward. I just want to put that on record tonight, that has been expressed to me. They don't want to feel left out. And obviously we respectfully, ADK Advocates has chosen to stay out of the situation with Inlet for the time being, understanding that you're working through some of the issues that you're working through, which became public shortly after my presentation in mid-February. So that's where we sit with that. But if there's a way we could even help facilitate that situation.
Wait, how would
we
you
would do it.
suggest we come to you with our concerns in regards to what's going on between?
We started that.
Snowmobile right
We
now.
started
I'm
that.
just asking. Prior to this, if somebody came to you with one of those concerns, they just got shot down. But this arrangement between these two communities is a big deal. It's huge. And the fact that we chose to not just pay them,
Okay, wait a minute,
we have
we're
a
off
right to
track here. We
ask.
need to finish with what Mike's doing.
Yeah.
I'm just
Go down
asking,
here.
how
And then
would
we're
you
gonna come
present
talk
that
to
to
you
you?
guys.
How would you come to the board and say, hey, I have concern about you cutting Inlet off this? I'm asking you, how would you come to that in some kind of setting where it's going to get traction and there's going to be a discussion about it other than right
I
here?
can answer that.
Thank you.
First of all, I think it's been said that we don't want to cut Inlet out. But there's more to it than you even know. So we're working on that. And I told you
to
that
hear that.
before. We're working on it. This is our job.
I know, but when you say there's more that we need to know, why don't you inform us? Because
right
our
now-
world operates on one thing.
'Cause we have two
mileage,
lawyers
so we're
working
gonna
on
fight
it.
for that.
And we're not allowed to discuss the contract or the
You can't do it.
agreement
That's all there
that
is.
the two lawyers are working on. I mean,
We just can't.
But when you say there's more to it, understand that we want to know the more to
You
it.
will.
and you will.
It ain't gonna happen tonight.
You will.
Anyways, I just wanted to make a point that
Thank you.
we need to get through this without big issues, all right?
Really quick, if I can just say, in one of the last meetings, Bonnie Baker said to Pat, you need to give us ideas of what you want done. That's why I
And you
wrote the
did,
letter.
thank you.
That's
And I thank you
exactly
for
what
that.
it was. It wasn't saying
And
these
that's
are all the
exactly what needs to
solutions.
happen.
I'm just saying
Letters
these
need
are
to get sent
things,
to us.
I'm
You
speaking.
did it properly. Thank you, Beth.
And I said that would continue to be the proper channel. If someone comes to me and says, I want to address something with the town of Webb, snowmobiling related, I will continue to encourage them to either come to board meetings, send correspondence,
Thank
make
you.
phone calls,
And you
emails.
gave us some homework and we're doing it, and we said we couldn't meet in April, we're gonna meet
Right.
in May. You'll get the information that you asked for. It just can't happen
And I'm
overnight.
not asking for that tonight.
You're not gonna get it
And I
tonight.
didn't come here looking for that either.
So, okay, so I'm gonna move on. I would like to just make a quick note of, the passing of Tony Torme. He was a big, supporter of our community, and I'm sorry that he's gone, and thank you, Tony, for all the stuff you've done here. I would like to also ask the board, long time ago, you guys weren't on the board then, but we went into the street lighting thing, LED lights and all that. Somewhere can we get a follow-up of, are we saving money yet, or when do we get information on?
We can get you some information on that.
And who do we ask and all that?
You just asked her.
Okay, I would like to know where we're at with that. I made mention of getting a live tree on Point Park a few meetings ago, and I have talked to the person who was donating it and gonna take care of it. I've talked to Chuck about helping dig the hole and putting it in when he gets here. It's probably gonna be the second week in May.
All right.
Maybe on Friday.
Let me know what you want that sign to say. Ask the guy what he wants that sign to say so I can have that made.
And you already kind of mentioned about the sewer plant, but they are having a small issue with what they do is they drill wells down to get the groundwater so that they can work down in there, and the wells aren't really working that good right now, so they're trying to figure that out. They're getting there. Everything else is in good shape. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy.
Good. I just wanted to say, great job with the Eclipse stuff over here. Bonnie, you and everybody involved getting all that information, Nancy, with everybody to try and prepare for it. I think if we weren't prepared for what came, it would have been pretty wild around here. And we were that close to having that forecast. Once Western New York went in the dark there with the clouds and whatnot, if that forecast had stayed clear skies, we would have had that traffic Saranac Lake had up there where they had a 3-hour trip was an 8-hour trip. So it seemed like a lot when we discussed it, and the CA, Ximena, the town employees, the police that were here, it really was kind of close to going down that road. And so thankful to all the people that made that happen. I'm glad that we didn't have any issues. I don't think that we know of too many.
No.
People that were around to help. I mean, the scene, people that came here were so kind. So they were really, really nice people, and they came from so far away. So it's a job well done by everybody on that. The one thing I wanted to talk about real quick was just we haven't really addressed housing too much, and so it's something that I've got on the board for here back in the day, and then the short-term rental law when I first came out was in its 11th or 12th draft or something like that, and we've gotten some really good advice from a board member up in North Alba, Lake Placid there, on to just get something going, a registration process moving. And I feel like we accomplished that. The codes office has been amazing. I feel like it's one of those no news is good news thing. We haven't heard really too many stories from or complaints or anything. I mean, any change is a struggle. So, I thank you guys over there for all that you've done with that whole thing. But initially with pushing through that short-term rental law, the mindset I've always had is to kind of imitate those same people that gave us the advice on putting a permit system in, was to try and do it by zone. And right now there's some folks out there that are doing some research and trying to get some information on exactly how it's working, can it work, how difficult is it to put in. Like I said, information is being gathered on trying to protect our neighborhoods. I don't want everybody to start just exploding after that. I think it's just to maybe get our neighborhoods back. Maybe find a way to turn those short-term rentals into long-term rentals, I think would be the goal there, when we're, houses are, interest rates, everything is skyrocketing, so it's tough to have people be first-year homeowners. But we're still down so many units up here when it comes to what people in our town, young families, there's people leaving because there's nowhere to live here, so. I don't have, nothing is set in stone. I mean, to the short-term rental people that are already probably out there that are already doing this in these places, it's better to see these places, these houses with people in them than not have anybody here. I think there's compromise that can be discussed when it comes to those current permit holders. Where you have your permit until you transfer, you sell your property, or maybe if you fall in one of those zones, you can you basically have 5 years to figure out what you want to do there, or maybe you're grandfathered in. There's incentives out there for people to go from short term to long term. The Indeed program over there, I've heard around discussions about that. That's active in town, and then also maybe some tax breaks, what have you. But I don't think. It's not the whole town of Webb, it's just in a couple of, RV zones and residential village zones and stuff like that. The snowmobile thing, it's tough, it's really hard to figure out exactly what to do, but we definitely realized what it can do without it here. I love how much the mountain is growing. I think that will definitely help, but it would be nice to see us support both avenues of our economy here, because we definitely need it, and I think there's a way to go about working together when it comes to what we're doing in our snowmobile permits, trails, all those things. And I really think that we might be behind other towns right now, but we might be ahead of the calendar year by working with John over here. I think he's doing a great job, and I think he should continue to try and keep people informed. I think we need to do that too as one up here. So, other than that, that's it. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to thank everyone that volunteered and helped out and supported this community for the solar eclipse, and everyone that came here. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I was pretty amazed by it. Had a good meeting with Living 80K, and kind of bummed that we didn't get that full $300,000 for the Smart Growth Grant, but go back to the drawing board and work on some of that stuff. I would like to inform you, Steve Hoffel, when it comes to, because I know you're pretty big on this Airbnb stuff, is that when I was at the in New York City at those classes, and I went to a zoning class, they talked that the state is going to come out with regulations for Airbnb and VRBO, and also a tax on their platform to give back to the communities. So that might help with getting rid, if they put regulations and rules and laws on them to help that. So try to give some more information for you and everyone else out there that's a motel owner on that, to see where that's coming.
Can I bank something off of what you two just said?
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows, I did send a letter of support for the switching of the short-term rentals over to long-term rentals. And to maybe be
Involved in some programs.
get involved in some programs there to see what we could do. Just so you know that was sent.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Kyle?
So,
Get ready.
so I don't have much tonight. As a lot of you know, I wasn't here at the last meeting due to personal family issues. I'd like to thank everyone in the community who extended their support to me and my fiance for what we were going through. Moving forward, I do want to thank everyone who came to town for the Eclipse and all the agencies that were on hand to help out. It was really cool to meet people from far and wide. At the store, we met a family from England that came over just to view it, and they were heading back later this week after they did a little trek down the coast. So that was pretty neat to see. One thing I do want to ask the board while we're here tonight, I know we're getting into the summer season, and I'm going to bring it up, but I would like to have discussions about boat parking again and moving that forward to get it reopened with stipulations obviously placed on it so all sides, all parties involved are happy.
The only thing I would offer up to that is that we tried to do this the last year before it, and it just, once we got closer to May, it was so tough to get in for this season, just so people know, like, opening that discussion up is great, but public hearing and doing all that stuff is hard. As much as I'm for it, you know.
As of right now, if the board gave the go-ahead to roll with this, we could have a public hearing the first Monday of June, or at the Tuesday June meeting as well, right, Nancy?
Yeah, you could do it for June 11th. And the parking doesn't go into effect to June 15th, depending what happens at the hearing, but the law we have now in effect doesn't go into effect to June 15th.
So just your proposal on how you think it should go and or how.
Right. So the southernmost navigation dock towards High Knoll would be daytime parking only, no overnight. Southernmost part of the navigation dock and the northernmost part of the navigation dock, there's absolutely no parking except for emergency vessels only. And the space in between as well, no parking. And then from the northernmost part of the navigation dock to the end of the boardwalk, and also the Pied Piper dock would be overnight parking with no parking on Thursday and Sunday. Those would be the 2 nights that would have no parking. I don't want to get into parking permits or anything right now because nothing's budgeted. And also too, moving ahead, at the end of this season, the Black River Water Authority is going to start the project on the dam. At which time there was concern about changing the law again. In my thought process, that we wouldn't have to change the law; it would just have to be a temporary no parking order by Town of Webb or Town of Webb Police. So if the board is on board with going forward with this, that would be great.
What do you need from us? Just to say, go
He needs a nod from everybody to proceed.
pursue the.
Then go to the lawyer, he'll write it, come back to you guys, you'll look at it, it'll go back to the lawyer, it'll come back to you guys.
For sure.
Then we'd go to a
I'm
public
ready.
hearing and let it roll.
Got a yay from me.
Yeah, I'm in.
Is a lot of this from that committee that was formed too?
Yeah, this was done a few years ago. This is the bulk of what I'm going off of. Linda was a part of it, and so was Kirk Gardner at the time when he was on the board. Holly Armandola was also a part of it. But the 3 of us had met then, and that was what I just said was what I believe all sides were.
The only thing you're missing
Okay.
is an increase in penalties.
So the penalty, I believe, is what we discussed about would be $1,000 fine each time that.
It's literally what the boat parking committee brought to the board 2.5 years ago, minus with the increase in fines. Yep.
We just got the whole time thing back then, like it was all great, but it just was gonna take so much time before we could get it in place before the summer, so.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
Draft it up.
How do you feel about it,
I'm in.
Mike?
Yeah, I'll listen.
Okay.
I did miss one thing though.
I was wondering what he was gonna say. Go ahead. Are you done?
That's all I had.
Just that clean energy study that we had done over there with NYSERDA for the rec center for that 60 grand.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yep.
Read through it, but no, it's quite a few pages. the electric heaters and all that, and the heat pumps on the roof, none of that stuff was recommended by them for us to get done. The three things that were for us to use this money on was to put in a hot water heater with an electric instantaneous one, and then install insulated doors. One of the big problems is all the 23 non-insulated doors in there, and then just insulate the place in the roof and the walls. The walls can be taken down. The walls can be taken off real quick and just insulated, and the same with the roof. So I think I don't know if there's, go ahead.
That's the email that he wants to set up a meeting to review that report, right?
Yep.
May 6th or 7th?
Yeah, that's the one that we just got today.
Yep.
But this, yeah.
Yeah, so that's ahead of it, and he wanted to have a chance to talk over. So we're gonna have a person.
Is there a deadline on that though, that we had to respond by a certain date where we're gonna spend that money?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I've been attached
there
the whole
is.
time, but they are asking for, as of yesterday or last week, another board member besides me to be there. It's about 6 years.
Or at least, I didn't even know if you were, you probably just need at least one.
Yeah.
I'd be
I
happy
told
to
them
sit
today
in
that
on
I would be there May 6th or 7th, whatever they needed to get done.
whatever day works, because I think we were
I
all
think there
open,
is a
so we can just
deadline. I
choose.
talked to Dan about it a little bit.
There's a deadline.
Yeah, he said that there was a date we had to do that.
Do I have
Did you
to?
say?
Pretty sure.
You meant 2 when you said?
We got this April 2nd.
And I think the deadline's April 17th. It's today.
April 9th.
Design sign.
I thought there was a deadline coming up. So we'll
For
have
us to
to,
decide what to do.
yeah, we'll have to
That's
look
pretty
up
quick.
into that and see if there was a deadline, but Dan.
Well, either way, there's a big
Yeah.
old study right here for us to
Yeah, that's
discuss.
good.
Just have to follow through because obviously to do those things they want done, we need to get prices and all that kind of
Yeah, they're all in here.
It's all in there. And they're giving
Prices
us
to
the
do the
money.
doors.
Yep. So everything's well under the 60 grand that we have to
They're
spend.
giving us 60,000 to do this, so everybody knows.
So the recommended three things, insulate the building envelope, install the insulated doors, install the tankless water heaters, $27,200.
But that was their estimate, that wasn't, how did we get that estimate? Don't we have to still get 3 bids and all that stuff?
I'm sure, I'm just, that's like,
If it's a grant, do you have to get 3 bids?
good question.
So
I just
I can, if you and I are gonna be the team,
Sure.
we can, I'll just look at my schedule just to see if anything popped up, but we'll chip May 6th or 7th. I'll ask about the timeline of when we have to get them made.
Yeah, I wasn't asking anybody to decide right now, I just wanted to inform people that that's
No,
where
because
we're
this
going
is
there
good.
because
This isn't matching or nothing.
No,
This is
No,
all,
this
this is good.
You earned it with your efforts.
Right.
how busy that rec center is, if that thing is heated, more often it's heated, the better everything works in there, so. That's the main goal here.
Thank you.
All right.
That's all, sorry.
That was, no,
Oh,
we brought it up.
it was in my pile and I didn't mention it.
So you gonna meet with somebody on that?
Yeah, I've been down there a few times with it, I've been responding to the emails, there was another one.
I think I responded to Hannah and said that, I would definitely be involved if
Sure.
need be, but
Do you wanna be included in the May 6th or 7th recap?
sure.
Okay.
It's like a Monday and a Tuesday. It's just one of the days they.
Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right, do I have a motion to pay the audit of claims?
I'll make a motion.
What did I do? Oh, I'm sorry. Don't do that yet. I take that all back. I forgot about you guys. Who'd like to talk?
Just, Robin.
Yes,
Clear Living
Robin.
80K, just a reminder, we've got the public shredding event, May 18th in the Pavilion parking lot, 10 to 12. With,
That was
Harper Burn
a
Night
big
Out
deal
celebration.
last year, so.
Yeah, we had
We had a good
a
turnout.
good turnout, yeah.
All right, we'll get that out there.
What were the times on that again?
10 a.m. to noon.
And there's no limit on how much?
Oh, generally, $3, yeah. Maybe 3 or 4 boxes full, I mean.
What was the date?
May 18th, it's a Saturday.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, you couldn't hear.
Sorry.
Couldn't follow what they were saying when you were talking.
Anybody else? Yes.
Very excited everything that's going on up there. Really excited about the magic carpet for our beginners. The races, the revenue generated from those. I can tell you, one of them, I went out, the weather was terrible. The only people on the mountain were all the racers and the families. I also was able to get up there on Friday afternoon. First time in years I've been able to scoot up after work, and the number of kids and families on the mountain skiing was just, it just warmed your heart to see so many kids out there, off of electronics, doing a wonderful, healthy sport activity that they can do all their life. Family sport, life sport. Did have some questions about how, after the last meeting and the new chairlift, which is a wonderful gift that we're giving, just is there going to be a follow-up meeting, a public meeting on the progress decisions? Is there any movement towards?
Seems like they've been coming with updates every Tuesday. Kurt or Brian's been coming here.
Yeah, she's talking about the placement of the chairlift. There's a question on where the chairlift would be placed.
There were several people at the last meeting that were concerned that leaving the old chair didn't make sense. And cost-wise, one chair, main chair, should go where the current chairlift.
I did follow up, now that you asked, Paige. I personally called the guy that inspects this stuff. I can't remember his name right now.
Ross
Is it
Stevens?
No,
he's the engineer.
Is it Joe?
Anyways,
Anyways, it doesn't matter. The guy that inspects it, he lifts all over New York. And I asked him the question about the cement, and he said, yes, they don't x-ray it, but they do check it. And he said, our lift right there. I said, well, is it something that's not gonna last long? And he said, to be honest with you, there's a whole bunch of those lifts out there. He said, I can tell you right now, that lift, it could last a very long time, our old lift. But just like anything, it's a gamble on any of that.
There's just not really room for two lifts. It doesn't really make sense to have two lifts.
Well, part of the other situation is it has been asked to take down the old one. First of all, the guy that's installing this will not even get involved if it's taken down the old one, because time, money is another thing. It's about, to take the old one down, I think you're talking about $500,000.
Pick that up, because that's actually false. That was a price to take the old lift down, to repurpose it and put it back up, which that lift cannot do. That's what Kurt Gardner told me. He got the price for, was to take it down with a helicopter to repurpose it as a beginner lift.
Right.
But that lift can't be, once it gets taken down,
It's condemned,
it's
right?
condemned, it can't be put back up.
Okay, because I didn't think we were told that originally.
We were told by the vice president of ORDA and Ross Stevens, the engineer. So you can't repurpose that lift because you can't make it meet 2022 specifications.
What about all the planning and all the stuff that's been done already, and the excavators and all these guys that are going here? They're all going at. They already have a spot, right? They're already.
Well, the engineering hasn't come up yet. That's what we just did that last week.
So the number to just tear it, just to knock it down and get rid of it, was half of that then?
Yeah.
It was 2 something, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm sorry, that I thought right along that was the reason to take the old one down, to repurpose it. That was,
well, yeah, I mean, so if we took it down and repurposed it, then why are we even getting a new lift to begin with?
No, to use it over on the other,
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
shorter run, whatever.
So at any rate, I think all we really wanted to know is if it's gonna cost $500,000 to make a new location, cutting all those trees, stumping it, paying the engineers, the soils mediation, drainage, everything involved. You know, would be nice to know the number. And then there was conversation of that we had to update the safety switches.
Yeah,
on the old
and I asked
for
them
like
about that.
200,000.
I can't answer, I should have wrote this stuff down.
What,
The safety switches,
So it just would be nice to know that, you know, if we took it down and put it up here, this is what it's gonna actually cost us versus making a new location.
well, we will know once we get the numbers
Right.
for how much it's gonna cost to put the new one in.
Right.
I can tell you right now, and the difference was $500,000 if you're gonna take it down and keep it. It was two, and these are estimates, couple $100,000, a little more than that, to just knock it down, take all the crap out and go goodbye. If I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, that's what originally they were talking about, but I bet you if you went out to bid.
would it make sense to ask Kurt and Ryan to provide an update and tell us why, where they're at and why they're at?
Well, that's
Yeah,
just the problem, because you're asking these professionals for these answers, and that was what he said. If you're gonna keep the thing in good shape, take it down nicely, it was $500,000. Just knock it down was $250,000, I think.
So why don't we get those like actually on paper and out there, you know, like I said, provide an
Yeah.
actual update of where it's at.
And the 250 is more of the number because we were told that we can't repurpose that lift by the engineer and the vice president.
Didn't know that.
Because you can't make it meet 2022 specifications
all right.
to the state.
Is there a budget you're trying to stick in the parameters of to do all these upgrades?
2.2 million,
2.2 million? For just the lift?
everything.
That's the deck, the carpet ride?
No, not the
No,
deck.
that's not the deck.
It's not the carpet ride, it's not the,
No, the carpet ride is separate.
And that's
the
paid
deck
for.
is separate.
You know, I heard that, yeah. Just curious as the scope of the project.
Yeah,
Between
2.2.
lift and edge carpet and snowmaking needs up there.
Yeah, and this thing with the electric stuff was all, that 300,000 would have paid for new pumps and new compressors and all that stuff.
Better electricity, yeah.
So we're gonna get a little shine on that.
Yeah.
But from what we hear, the price to install this new lift has been more reasonable than we were first quoted. So, but again, we're going with people that do this.
Also, just this makes sense for a lot of reasons. To leave the old lift, make the new lift, where the current lift is. You're talking, the cost, you get something, you're gonna have to take that lift down anyway. You're also gonna have the cost to maintain that old lift. And then there's other factors
gonna do all the time, sir?
Because he
All I keep hearing is time sensitive, we gotta have this
it's
special
not.
meeting today, we gotta have this special meeting tomorrow, and that's all I keep hearing, McCall, hey, can you pull up for this one, you do that, what's that gonna do to all that? We kinda reanalyze and redo the whole plan, is all I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Do you miss, like, right, I mean, this helicopter coming, is like, you get one shot at this guy, I guess, he's just.
Yeah, I mean, this needed to be brought up more to the public, and I kept bringing that up to Kurt and Brian to try to get us and give us more answers and more, information to the public and everything. All the meetings and everything I went to, I was giving information to the public, and this is kind of where now some of the public is coming around because they
I gotta tell you something our lawyer has said. He said he's never seen a town try to move as fast as we are on a $2.2 million project.
Yeah.
He said it usually takes a couple years to do it. And what we're doing right now is insane.
Yeah, exactly.
And he said he doesn't approve of it. Right. So I'm gonna tell you that. And here we are.
Yeah.
I'm just going off what I've been told.
I'm just telling you what he told us the other day. He doesn't approve of what we're doing.
Well, it isn't often you have somebody give you a chairlift.
I know, you're right.
That you have to put up.
And that's what we tried to explain to him. I don't
Sometimes you have to.
Go, use it now, figure it out.
I mean, it's not typical, but it's free. What we are just concerned with is that we make the best decision. So staffing's an issue at McCall. So now we're gonna have 2 chairs to the top, so we have to double our
We're gonna fix the staffing, don't worry.
lift attendance, but it still takes 3 or 4 people to run a lift. That's gonna be an issue, and it's gonna be an expense. This is a triple compared to our double. Are we better off putting our eggs in one basket, run it right up where the old one is, have one good lift? If we run the new lift in the summer, you look through the old lift, trying to look up the lakes, which is what the scenic.
And you only need to use it for maybe 1 weekend, 2 weekends.
Yeah, even with the T-bar, when they ran the T-bar, it was
The capacity.
5 days a year. For
I wish I
that
had more
overflow.
answers for you.
I know.
I'm not a skier,
it's hard.
I don't know the drainage, and I'm not an engineer, so
So we
I'm
just
trying to go with.
kind of want to make sure we're paying attention.
Yeah.
We're not just jumping into the.
That's why we
Well, our
have
other
these,
things are jumping hard and
these
stuff.
professionals up there. I mean, we've all stood there talking to why we haven't
But
all.
yeah, I know. But the only reason the contractor was in favor of keeping that double originally and placing this tripling is because he was
The
told
information he was given.
the information that he was given by a certain person. He was told that he was going to get the job. He'd probably get a job to replace the double in 10 years, anyways.
That was the plan.
That was the plan. So and that's what I brought up in that meeting to those guys. So they said now, because I was right there when he told it again to the contractor. He probably told it to him again. So that's why the contractor was in favor of putting that triple there and not taking the double down because it is job security.
That's awesome.
And no one knew that other than knew that we're planning this out. It was to plan to replace that double anyways in 10 years. As I told him that, brought it up to him, gave him a hard time at that one meeting. I said, you're planning on spending $10 million. This is the purchase price of a new lift today and installing it and installing this triple from Gore. In 10 years is a price tag of $10 million. Not happening. And that's what we told him when we were there with the engineer. Right. I finally had to tell him, we are not replacing that double.
No,
it is coming
I was
down.
with you on that. It's like, that's not it.
That's we're looking at even more expenses now.
And it's going to be more expensive in the long run to leave a double there and tear it down after. Too. The price of everything just keeps going up.
So I guess we're all better.
Yeah.
Get some more information.
Macaulay people.
In the public.
Yep. All right. Thank you. No, it's all good. It's all good. Anybody else? Yes, Steve.
The email that I sent you regarding the AEDs.
You know what? You were on my thing right here, and give me my notes back. I skipped right over you.
That's okay.
You did, you talked to me about it.
I did, I put it right here. Steve Baker stopped in. Steve Baker stopped in, and there are 4 AEDs that are not town-owned that reside in Big Moose. One of them was used at the last accident. Steve is in charge of making sure all the AEDs work in the town, and he'd like to add the 4 that aren't owned by the town onto our town maintenance plan that we pay for. It's $100 per unit per year to put those on our plan. He was going to talk to the owners and ask them if it was all right with them, but I thought it was a great idea.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
Are they in public areas?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, okay.
For the most part, they are. There's 2 that the fire department has that, and there's one that the Big Moose Chapel has, one that the rec center has. The one at the chapel and the rec center go to the Big Moose Station and the Glenmore during the winter, where in all cases they're public access. The ones the fire department have they sort of inherited from the ambulance company. When the ambulance company went under, they had the 2 AEDs that the fire department got. And it would be just as well to add those. And all of them are supposed to be, by law, on a program where that's monitored and by Hartford County. And that's what I'm
Library
trying to
has
set
one
it
too,
up.
just saying. Library's got one too, just saying, if you're throwing out maintenance.
I think they should be.
Okay,
I'm
sounds
good
good.
with that. You guys? I'm good with that. Definitely should be on that maintenance.
Well, you took them from me and I forgot Steve. I had it all written out, Steve. You did. I had to go. All right, I guess now we need anybody else? Sorry, Steve.
Silly question, the public garden,
Yep,
8-foot fence?
yep.
Okay. And I handed out to everybody a news article that Andy had given to the paper in 2018 when he was doing his town code article. And I'd like to read the last paragraph. It says, changes in the wind to consider minimal safety standards, which we have achieved with the short-term rental registration. To protect our neighborhoods, our existing business community members, and save these residential neighborhoods for becoming a huge unregulated playground. And I was just, a few tidbits. Total motel rooms in town are like 320 rooms. And I think at this point right now, we have 340 rental homes. So in Andy's paragraph, impact on legitimate businesses that are already here, something to consider. And then I wanted to
340 rental homes or
board member.
what type of rental homes is it? 340? Short-term rental?
Short-term rental homes, 340.
Okay, sure.
Individually, I'd like to ask what each board member's feelings are about the amount of homes that have been converted to short-term rentals, how many homes we've lost that were long-term rentals because financially it's such much better to do short-term rental. And do you have concerns? Are you willing to do something about it?
I'll answer first. Yes, I have a concern. That's why I wrote the letter of interest to turn some of the short-term rentals into long-term rentals.
Okay.
So I am working with. So yes, I do have concerns. What?
Oh, I certainly have concerns, but I have to be a little careful because I am a motel owner, as you know, Steve, so I gotta keep my thoughts, I don't wanna say, be careful.
You already heard, I already said it for quite a bit there. I'm not gonna. You guys know.
Ben?
You guys know.
Yeah,
where I
I mean,
stand.
I've got concerns, especially on the back street and stuff, where they should be, family homes, long-term rentals. But it's also hard to tell people that own property on the lake that are also if they do short-term rental for the summer and they only use it in the winter just to try to pay for taxes and keep that place, or vice versa, they do short-term rentals in the winter, Airbnb it for the whole winter, use it in the summer. It's kind of hard to, and properties that have extra buildings on them that people own, it's kind of, but I do think there needs to be some more regulations on it, and see what the state comes up, because the state could come up with, you know, health department issues and stuff like that, that would also help. Fire
Has the
safety.
board ever thought about adopting a policy for new home purchasers that you can't purchase a home and rent it for the first 3 years you have it here? Just a thought, it would deter people from outbidding somebody that could live in this township, you know, because they're not have this extra income off a rental. So for easy numbers, if you're both talking 200,000 and somebody's like, well, you know, we'll rent it, so let's say 250. They outbid somebody that wants to be here full time. Well, say for the first 3 years, you can't rent that property. It might deter that.
There's some interesting.
They were fictitious numbers.
There's
on the back street you probably could.
There's some interesting, I guess, things being discussed in other Adirondack communities, and there's some folks out here trying to figure out what exactly other towns are doing that are working, like we said up there, like with programs like you're suggesting.
They've done this throughout the entire country.
Exactly.
This wasn't just suggested out of nowhere. It was actually suggested by somebody else in this town.
So I have a problem on my street, and it's not called short-term rentals. It's called second homeowners. It used to be all kids on that street. There's 9 second homeowners. They don't rent. So that's one of the main streets in town where all the, you know, the families would live over there. So I don't know how you could address that.
I think the point is there's no one solution, and
Right,
it goes to
yeah.
the housing, it goes to this, it goes
Yeah.
to what you've already
Yeah,
done,
but a lot of-
and by implementing lots of things.
A lot of those second homeowners wouldn't be second homeowners in that area
If they didn't profit so much off of short-term rentals. You know, I mean, that's something that should be considered too.
Well, Bonnie's just saying they don't rent.
Mine aren't short-term rentals
They're
in
not
my
short-term.
neighborhood. Not a
They
one.
just don't use them.
They don't live there.
They just come up for the weekend every now and again.
I mean, that's what the whole area has been built on. Can't
Right.
really outnumber residents.
Anybody
My
else?
feeling on the matter is, yes, I agree that there is an issue. You had stated 340 rental homes, how many of them the long-term rentals, how many do you think we lost, right? I would have to say 340. All the numbers that you're giving, at some point in time, those houses, if not long-term rentals, they were a seasonal rental. They were at one point a single-family
I
dwelling.
think a lot of them had been rented all along, but now they get a permit because the law was enacted.
You gotta know the number.
Oh, now we know the number.
There's a lot of.
The previous board did put something in place to lay the groundwork. I am excited. I want to see what New York State is going to do, like Ben had mentioned earlier, but there is an issue. There has to be ongoing dialogue with it and communication as far as what's going to happen, what New York State's going to put down, and then what we can do in lieu of what New York State is putting down. And build it off of there and build our own little new law.
And I know you guys think I'm a pain in the ass, because I'm the one that speaks up on this. But I've literally had people that, when this all first started, that came to me and said, damn it, Hoppel, I should have the right to do what I want with my damn property, you're full of shit. And now, 6 years later, they've changed their tune and said, holy shit, you were right, we need to get this under control because we're losing our community.
Yeah, that's definitely happened.
I grew up in a motel, so I know what you're saying.
You know, and a lot of these people, because of what they do, who they work for, et cetera, they can't come here and shoot their mouth off because they can shoot themselves in the foot for their livelihood.
You're absolutely right on that.
So I'm the guy that shows up and says it.
Anybody else?
One final, the Pro Housing Community webinar today. I noticed Adirondack Foundation and the APA were participating as listening. It is being recorded. I should get the recording tomorrow. It was only like 30 minutes.
Okay.
So I'll
That's
send that
perfect,
over
thank
to
you.
you all, okay?
Yeah, that's perfect, thank you. Anyone else?
That's what Barb brought up, right?
I'd like a motion to pay the audit of claims.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session for Article 14 of the Civil Service Law to discuss collective bargaining negotiations.
Okay. We will be going into executive session this evening. It's anticipated that the board will not take any action after executive session. Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Thank you, everyone. We are back from executive session. No action taken. Do I have a motion to close the meeting? Adjourn?
I'll make the motion. to
Second?
I'll second. Tommy got it.
Clever, Kyle.
All in favor?
10:15.
Time's up.
Thank you.